What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is your season 4 finale of Queen Sugar. It's a little bittersweet for me. Let's go on and jump into it. We start the episode off with Micah and Charlie having a heart-to-heart. He apologized for how he told her about the whole Harvard thing. She was like, I appreciate it, but I just ain't feeling this. I just ain't feeling it. And he said, she said, with everything going on with this election and everything, like I'm just seeing things from that perspective. And he said, look, I know I have advantages. I know I'm blessed, and I want to be in a position to use the advantages that I have to help somebody. And my comments went back and forth last week, and I do see both sides of the coin, like I said in my review. I absolutely do. But maybe I'm coming from a different perspective. Again, I'm a product of an HBCU, and I would never downplay the roles of HBCUs, the histories of HBCUs, and the importance or the level of education at a HBCU. But you're never going to convince me, you're never going to talk me out of what I said about being in the room. And Harvard is about being in the room, but neither here nor there. But they come to a happy agreement, Charlie said, I'm just going to need some time with this. Next thing you know, it's a bang at the door. Now, folk like us know what that bang is. That's that bang bang. That ain't no, are you home? That's not Avon calling. That's some folk at your door that you don't want at your door. And it's the police. They got a warrant for Charlie's arrest for arson on the mill, honey. Next thing you know, we down to the police station. Of course, they all at the police station. Ralph Angel about to start a revolution. He yelling racism in the middle of the damn waiting room. Excuse me. Mike is on the phone with the lawyer. Nova trying to calm Ralph Angel down. Ralph Angel told her, look, ain't nobody ask you, Nova, for your 2 cents. And Poy and Vi just trying to keep them all from tearing each other's throats out. Charlie comes from out back. They let her go on her own recognizance, and we find out that the only evidence they have against her is that damn blowtorch that they talked about last week with her fingerprints on it. Well, duh, it was her damn meal. Of course, somebody called the press, and the press is outside waiting for Charlie. Baby, Charlie asked Aunt Vi, you got to come back? Because they were trying to sneak her out a side door or back door. She said, oh, nah. And she went out there and she talked to the press and she let them know, look, this is laughable. Shout out to Kwani. And this whole situation is ridiculous. And when you swing, you better not miss. And you missed. And she went on by her merry little way, baby. Then we see Aunt Vi meeting down to the pie shop with Joe. Joe done walked up in there with everything she need to put Frances where she need to go. She said, I thought I told you I was calling in this favor. He said, look, I know, but I needed to let some things play out a little bit further before I could get you everything you needed. And when we end up finding out what the favor was, boy, we speculated on a whole lot of stuff, but I didn't see this one coming. What we found out about is it must have been a friend of Vi's, somebody she was really good friends with. Joe done been sneaking down into the sugar shack with the friend, got the friend pregnant. And Jonas said that his daddy would have killed him and her had he found out about the baby. He wasn't going to have no coloreds in his family. Little did he know his mama already was one. But anyway. And Vi said, did you ever, he said, he asked that Vi, well, have you ever heard anything about them? And she said, talking about his daughter. She said, well, I know she went to Spelman. And after that, I believe she went to Wharton. She said, but I haven't, that was about 12 years ago. Really hadn't kept in touch with them. He said, yeah. He said that was, he basically tried to make it seem like I got the impression that was really the love of his life, but he never would have been able to love her. And Aunt Vi said, look, I ain't about to play no violins for you. If the least you could have done was keep in touch with the woman. And he said, I thought about that years later, but I figured the best I could do was just stay out her life. Like, it wouldn't have been fair for me to just pop up. He said, but I'm older now. I'm because he said something about my father would have cut me off. And she said, that's all you ever cared about was money. He said, back then, yeah. Yeah, I did. He said, but not anymore. I think a little differently now. And she said, well, now you know better, do better. He said, maybe I will. I said, oh, he going to reach out to the baby girl. Maybe that'll be on next season. Little did I know. So, Aunt Vi promptly takes this information right on down to Charlie and Nova down to Charlie's house. And they found hidden accounts, secret payments. They found proof that she set up the arson of the mill, like all kinds of stuff. But they didn't have the smoking gun, And Nova was like, "Look, Charlie, this is enough for us to get Francis, but we know that this is bigger. We know we have figured out that the forces are bigger." And Charlie was like, "Yeah, I know, but it's not here." If I say dig deeper. Like, I done called in a favor for this. You better find what you need. So, they get to digging, honey. They get to digging. They looking for what they need, right? Down to the house, we see Vi and Hollywood. They doing good. They back on track. They back to flirting and all that other stuff. And Vi asked him, what you gonna do about this idea you had? What you gonna do about your shop for the men? And he said, you really think that's a good idea? She said, look, whatever you want to do, I'm going to support. I just want you to be happy. And if that's what you want to do, then yeah, I'm with you. So I think that, we're going to carry that over into next season's storyline with him opening up this place for men. All right. Now, here was part of the storyline that I didn't like. So I'm just going to let you know now. I ain't investing a whole bunch of time in this. Ooh, something's in my eye. Oh, shoot. Darla then showed up to the house with groceries and treats for Blue. They've decided they're going to give Blue the gift from his grandfather. Darla said, I was hoping that after we do, after we have the surprise for Blue, that I could cook for you, to thank you for everything you did for me. And of course, Ralph Angel, that'll be fine. I said, I don't even like where I see this going, but it is what it is, honey. It is what it is. So they getting ready to open up the gift that I guess they decided they were going to give him the gift from Grandpa, from Grandpa, Papa, and let him open up the gift. And they explained to him that, it was a gift that he was supposed to have, and he instantly gets sad, but that's to be expected. I mean, he's going to be sad. And they explained to him that, Grandpa already bought this for you before he got sick. And so he go to open up the gift. Now, let me say this to y'all. In my fucking Dineva voice. When I went down to the Bennett College and they gave me my degree in political science, they ain't teach me a whole lot about physics. But what I do know is, ain't no way in hell that ball is still inflated 3 years later. Now, come on, stop playing with me. You mean to tell me that ball that Grandpa inflated 3 years ago still got air in it? I can't get them damn pool toys to stay inflated for 2 days. Y'all know those beach balls, you blow them up, you take them to the beach, you come back from the beach, you put it down on the floor. The next day, you got to put more air in that damn ball before you go back to the beach. Y'all know I'm not lying. Y'all know I'm not lying. And you going to tell me that damn box been sitting in that closet. I gave y'all a pass on the fact that ain't nobody seen that box for 3 years with that damn wrapping paper on it. I let that go. But you not gonna convince me that ball was still inflated. Then at the end of the episode, they all in the pool together and Blue talking about something. Is that Papa's air in the ball? No, it ain't. It ain't. Now anyway, moving on. So after they do that, of course, Blue has his moment, he has his moment or whatever. But then later on, Ralph Angel and Darla get to talking. And look, I told y'all I'm not putting a whole lot of energy into this. They get back together. I can't give y'all no more than that. I can't, because I don't want them back together. I don't think it's a good idea. And I'm really pissed off at the writers because I feel like they spun this storyline in a way in which we would feel comfortable with the two of them getting back together. You turn Darla, you turn her infidelity and her bad situation into an assault. Yeah, I said So now it makes it okay for Ralph Angel to forgive her and for everything to be pumped peachy keen. Whatever, they back together. That's all I'm giving y'all on that one. And moving on. We see Nova and her man. They decide to get a place together, and he gonna go meet the family, honey. And that's cool. Mixed feelings about that too. I know El Teddy's gonna hate it. I don't care so much about it personally. If you want to know the truth of the matter, if it's gonna keep Nova from writing another damn tell-all book, I'm happy for it. It's election night. Everybody down to the wine. I said wine shop, to the pie shop. And of course, it's a close election. You knew it was going to be a close election because at the end of the day, Charlie wasn't. It was supposed to be a landslide. Nova shows up with her man. Everybody's speaking. Ain't Vi surprised? Ain't Vi talking about something? Yeah, I've read a lot. I've heard a lot about you. Charlie grinning from ear to ear because you know Charlie ain't got no problems with it. Micah ain't feeling it. And Ralph Angel is shooting Nova daggers from across the room. Ralph Angel y'all made up with her, but I ain't made up with her ass. I'm with you on Ralph. I'm with you, Ralph Angel. I'm with you on this one. I'm with you. I guess I'm just a mean, stubborn, evil child. Because I don't think I'd have forgave Nova yet. I get it that she's doing things to redeem herself, but I don't think I would have been able to forgive her at this point. But that's me, not them. The results, Charlie gives them this good old speech about not giving up and how they weren't even supposed to be as close as they are. And they're gonna make it work, St. Joe. And the election results come in, and baby, she done won. We see that she's still working to get Joaquin and his family out. We see him talk to the son, let him know, look, I'm not done fighting for you. Everybody celebrates that that she won the election, but it couldn't be this easy, right? So the next day, we see Charlie strutting on through the country club, honey. She looking clean as the board of health in this badass suit, baby. And she got her little briefcase with her, and she's meeting with Francis. And in the background, you see Joe in the back, just observing. And Francis, basically starts bribing Charlie. She said, look, you done won this election, but I'm going to just go on and just make you the same offer that if my son won, we weren't going to have to ask him. We were going to tell him what we were going to do. But, I'm going to let you know, look, if you play nice, me and my folks, we'll let you live a little bit. We'll even let you decide which direction you want the highway to go in, because the highway's coming. But we'll let you feel like you had a little piece, a little say-so in which direction the highway is going to go. Charlie said, I'm not even sworn in yet, and you are already trying to bribe me? Oh, Francis. Francis said, look, admittedly, I ain't think I was going to have to deal with you. But it is what it is. We are where we are. She said, well, Francis, you're not going to be here much longer. You a dead woman walking. Francis said, excuse me? She said, yeah, we have proof that you were making payments and you were talking to the folk, and you had something to do with my mill burning, and we got proof of it. She said, what are you talking about? She said, the men that set my mill on fire, they've already confessed, and it's only a matter of time, I guess, for the police to be here to pick you up. And next thing you know, here come the police coming on through there, honey. Notice, it ain't the St. Joe police, okay? It's somebody else coming to get her. I don't know. It ain't the feds, but it wasn't the St. Joe police either. Francis says, say what? Say what? Honey, they went to go put them damn handcuffs on her. She said, you better not, if you know what's good for you. Damn if he ain't put them daggone handcuffs down. I said, woo, white privilege always works. She go facing arson charges and bribery, and she still get to walk out the restaurant without being in handcuffs. I'd have been on the floor with a knee in my neck, but that's another conversation. Joe sitting in the background hitting Charlie with the nod. I said, Now what does he have to gain by this? Because he was a little too happy to see his sister going down, honey. Here go another part that I didn't like. Now, see, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I thought I was going to end up hating the finale. Because here come Nova rolling up on Ralph Angel. Ralph Angel said, Nova, I told you stay away from this daggone farm. She said, Ralph Angel, I can't. And she goes on to explain to Ralph Angel that she went to go visit the cousin that ain't nobody know they had. And she has the mama's journal. And that the mama is buried on the land. Ralph Angel said, nah, no she ain't. She said, no, she is. She said, cousin whoever told us, he said, I don't know her. Which didn't nobody know her. And then Nova did something that was classic Nova. Ralph Angel is looking. This is why I couldn't have forgave her, because you're still being very self-serving to me, Nova. At least to me, you are. Ralph Angel pulls out one of his mom's recipes, and the recipe was for his mother used to use it when he would skin his knee or something to that effect. And they get to talking about it, and she said, did you read the bottom? You read what the notes mama wrote? And she reads it out loud to him, and it talks all about how wonderful of a sister she is, and how he looks up to her, and how she's going to be a great protector to Ralph Angel, and she hopes that bond is never broken. And again, in my mind, I'm thinking, here we go again, Nova. That was a very self-serving thing you did, because now you're trying to guilt him into agreeing to forgive you, And Ralph Angel fell for it. He starts talking about the flower that makes this recipe, and how it was a big patch of the wildflowers growing on a certain part of the land. And Nova was like, do you remember where it is? He was like, nah, I really don't remember where it is. And she said, well, I think I got an idea. I think I know how we can figure it out. And they get the call. They call Prosper over, and she said, remember when you told me, when I interviewed you about my dad, and you told me about my dad, how y'all would walk the land, and how sometimes you would walk up on him and he was talking to himself. And Prosper was like, yeah, but I ain't mean it. She said, no. Ralph Angel was like, that wasn't him talking to himself. That was him talking to my mom. My mom is buried on this land. He said, Trudy on this land? And he said, what Nova said was she didn't want anybody to know, because she never wanted anybody to feel beholden to the land. She didn't want people to feel like they had to stay on the land just because she was there. If they wanted to go, let them go, kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. So, next thing you know, Ralph Angel and Nova standing there. He ends up putting his arm around her. I said, the hell kind of shit is this? Now, what I forgot to tell y'all was that Charlie got a text while she was, after she got Francis arrested, honey. She got a text. All right. Now, when they were taking Francis off, she got a text from Parker Campbell. I had to go look at the name, y'all. Now, remember, Parker Campbell was the ghost that they could not chase down. Parker Campbell was the person that they know that's behind all this world energy piece. And, Charlie makes her way down there, because, of course, this is what it's all about, right? She's trying to stop this highway. She gets down there, and there's a white man sitting at the desk on the computer, and she said, well, isn't it the aloof Parker Campbell as we speak? And, baby, my girl turns around. She said, nice to meet you. I'll be with you in a second. And she dismisses the white guy, right? Parker Campbell is a black woman. And it's played by my girl from Underground. Did y'all watch Underground? And also from How to Get Away with Murder. Baby, she tells Charlie, she said, look, Francis underestimated you. I will not. She said, I'm a fancy, I got a fancy name for a person that gets things done. She basically a fixer. She said, so look, the highway is coming whether you want it or not. So what is it going to take for you to make this easy? Because if not, we're going to either walk together or I'm going to walk over you. That's pretty much what she said. Charlie said, no, ma'am. She said, I was elected to stop this highway, and that's what I'm going to do. And then she, she kind of came at her with the sister girl thing, and she said, excuse, sister, what? She said, well, I tell you what. I will not make the same mistake that Francis made. And you either going to work with us or not. Charlie said, us? Who is us? And she gets on the speaker, honey, and she said, send my father in. Who the hell walks through the door but that daggone Joe Boudreaux? It was a setup the whole time. That favor that Vi thought she was calling in, he was setting Vi ass up the whole time. Vi just made it easier on him. The daughter that he hadn't kept in touch with is Parker. And they had been in cahoots the whole time. And they said, Charlie, thank you so much for getting rid of Francis for us. It looked so much better that it was coming from a woman and not me. If I had done it, it probably wouldn't have gone over so well. But you getting rid of Francis, it worked out wondrously. And so now we got to get St. Joe ready for some fracking, baby. And of course, Charlie gives them the you don't know who you messing with. She said, you don't know who you messing with. Now, let me say this, y'all. It sets up an interesting storyline for next season, but here's what I don't like. What I'm hoping is that Queen Sugar is not jumping the shark. If you're not familiar with what that term is, it comes from Happy Days. Happy Days was a very long-running show, but at a certain point, they ran out of storyline. And so there was an episode where Fonzie actually jumped a shark. And so that term, jumping the shark, it comes from that whole mindset of when writers run out of what they're going to do, or they take a show in such an unrealistic direction that it loses something. And so what I mean by that is, you have built this entity up to be an entity that can't be beat. Now, we love Charlie, and we know that Charlie got a lot of firepower, but you're making it seem like this world energy is on such a level that nobody can stop it. So I'm supposed to believe that Charlie, being on the city council and using whatever resources she has as a former basketball wife, no disrespect, Charlie, is going to be able to defeat this world energy. Because, that's what she said. She said, well, then we're just going to take your land. And they've already filed paperwork to have it condemned property so they can come and seize it. Now, I don't know how the hell they're going to condemn a farm that's is in total working condition, like it has living sugar cane on it right now. But again, that just goes to show you what they want us to believe, that this entity is so all powerful and so all strong that Charlie can't defeat it. So I don't know, y'all. I mean, I love Queen Sugar. I wait and see what they do with this next season, but I don't know which direction we see this going in. We leave off with Nova working on her next book, but she said this time she's going to start with her, which is where the hell she should have started last time, but okay, I guess she learned her lesson. And then we end up with, they found Mama's body, and they put a tombstone there, a headstone, I should say, there, and where her body was buried, come to find out, is right over there by Blue's Corner, the area where Grandpa put Blue's little area. And so we see them back in their all white. Remember from the father's funeral when they were in all white, and the whole family is there, including Darla. Mike and Kiki, they all happy in their Xavier and their Tulane shirts, honey. They be broken up by homecoming. But anyway, that's just me. Whatever. Moving on. So y'all let me know what y'all thought about the finale, and I guess we'll see each other in about 6-7 months or so. Talk to y'all later. Peace.